Hello, Keith Rucker here at VintageMachinery.org. Guys, today we're putting together an odds and ends video, and I'm going to be honest with you, I don't have a whole lot to show you, but this is kind of a last resort just to get a video out. This has been a rough week for me on multiple fronts, mainly because I think I mentioned in my last video I've been suffering a little bit of head cold, and that has continued on this week. Went to the doctor and got checked out. It's just a case of sinusitis. I've had allergies my whole life, and you can just about set your clock. I'm going to get an allergy or sinus infection every spring and fall, and my annual fall sinus infection kind of hit me this past week, and it did turn into some bronchitis, which I kind of got over, and but anyway, it's just been a long, rough week. This past week, I was really wanting to get out here and get some work done in the shop. I actually had some time. It was a kind of a slow time at work, but I ended up just staying in the house because it was just not really good for me. I'd just been wiped out physically and didn't have any energy. Come Thursday this past week, I was finally feeling better, and I actually went out on Thursday evening and helped out at the museum with their North Pole Express, drove the train out there one evening, and everything was great. I thought I was pretty much over it. And on Friday morning, I got up, and while the head cold stuff was pretty much gone, lo and behold, what hit me but vertigo. I got out of bed that morning and stumbled into the bathroom and nearly fell down a couple of times. And first time I've ever had vertigo in my life. And I can tell you it has not been fun. And this past weekend, again, the whole head cold and sinus stuff has been pretty good. But with the vertigo going on, I just haven't been comfortable getting out here in the shop. I'm out here today and the room is kind of spinning. And it's just probably not very smart for me to be trying to operate any kind of machinery while that's going on. The vertigo is getting better. Like I said, I did go to the doctor this past week and get checked out. No COVID. I know everybody's going to ask about that. It's just a good old-fashioned sinus infection, and but this vertigo is just a new deal for me. I've been struggling with this, but hopefully, we're going to get over this and back to work in the shop coming up this coming week. I've got lots of stuff that needs to be done, lots of good video material coming. It's just been slow getting there. So I do have a few things stacking up over here. Like I said, it's not a whole bunch, but we're going to work through these items, show you some stuff that's come in the shop in the last couple of weeks, some gifts, some purchases, and we'll go with that for our video this week, and hopefully get back to some restoration work and machining work coming up real soon. Let's take a look at what we got. So up first here, got a couple little oil cans that were sent in to me by a viewer, and he just wants to go by Engine Nerd is his handle he's got here, but he made a couple of these little oil cups here. He had sent me some messages when he was doing these. I think he told me these pieces here were actually 3D printed, the little stickers that he put around them. But this is just an oil cup. Of course, you can buy a little plastic one. This is one that he made out of a can. I think he's told me this was a can for like glue for like PVC pipes or whatever, and he put a little copper pipe in here, and basically what this turns this into is a spill-proof oil can. So if you knock it over, the oil doesn't come out of it. These are great to set up on the lathe or whatever. I've got a couple of them around in different places. If you need some oil, you just brush it on there. And he also sent along one for my buddy A-Bomb79, Adam Booth. He said he tried to reach out to Adam and didn't ever get a hold of him, but knew that I'd meet up with him and just sent it to me. So no worries. I've actually got a pile of stuff back there in the shop right now that's got Adam's name on it. There's some stuff that I'm holding for him, so I'll put that with him, and I'm planning on seeing Adam, I think, in February down at the Flywheelers tractor show, so I'll get that stuff to him then. But anyway, cool little project. Thank you very much. So we'll put this over here, and you'll probably see that being used from time to time. These little spill-proof cans are just right for putting oil on projects, so very nice. Thank you. And in the theme of oilers. Got another oiler that was sent in to me. This is a neat little oil can. This is actually for oiling up a steam locomotive. This has been what the engineer, the fireman would have used to go down and oil things. And basically the way this oiler works is that you put the oil in here, there's a valve, but this is not a pump valve like on most. This is just opening and closing a valve, and you would literally just go over here and hold the can down, open that valve up, and when you did, the oil would just run down the spout and go in. When you got through, you'd let up on it. So it's all gravity fed, and basically you're always working on oiling the running gear, which is mostly down below you, so works out really good. The canister on this looks like it's brass maybe, and it is subscribed around here. It was kind of hard to read, but it says the McVicker oiler, MCVICAR, McVicker oiler, manufacturer for the M&S Oiler Company, Denver, Colorado, by Flint and Lomax. So not sure who made it. It got about 3 different names on there, but pretty interesting. You can see where they silver soldered up the seam over here at some point in time. That was probably done at the factory. But yeah, this would have been used on a steam locomotive, so pretty cool. And yeah, with my steam locomotive experience working out at the museum, this is definitely something I'll probably take it out there and give it a try at some point in time and just play around with it. I like using the old-timey tools when I'm doing that. It just makes for an interesting day. So anyway, very cool oiler. This came from Jan Wimmer, and said that found it in his grandfather's tools in New Jersey, and didn't really have a need for it. Thought I would appreciate it, which I do greatly. And thank you very much for sending that along. We will definitely put it to use and put it into the collection. I like oil cans, oilers and stuff, and anything steam and locomotive related is always interesting to me as well. So thank you very much. Very nice gift. Greatly appreciate it. So up next, I got a little care package here from, and I apologize if I mispronounced this name, but I think it's Sasha Lutold up in Michigan. And he sent me along a collection of some pretty cool little items. I'm going to go through here and kind of show you these one at a time, because it's just a neat little collection. So first off, a little tap extractor. If you've never seen these, it's got 4 little prongs on there, and you can slide this over a broken tap down into the flutes and then spin it out. I've got several of these in some different sizes, and sometimes when you break a tap off, this is just a little trick to get it out. Sometimes sometimes it isn't, but I have had these save the day a few times, and I've got several different sizes. This is for a 3/16 inch tap, but I'll put these over with my other ones, and hopefully I'll never need it, but if I do, I got one there. So in this other just collection of stuff, there's some neat little calculators in here. So some of you older guys, younger guys may not have ever seen these things, but back in the day before we had iPhones and apps and a personal computer you carried around with you, a lot of times you would have these little hand calculators that you could slide up and down, and it would give you information that you need. And this is one for Allen cap screws. You can put in your size screw, and it gives you the dimensions for that. So just really kind of a neat little cheat sheet. They made these things for all kinds of things. This is instructions for Cincinnati for a little calculator. This calculator's not in here, but it got the book that shows how to use it. But you would use this for doing speeds and feeds. I've got a couple for K&T that are similar to this. Kerning Tracker probably calculate the same information, but does it differently. You would just dial around this thing and read off your different things, and it would give you speeds and feeds and so forth like that. So some of these are kind of cool. These are Trig Easy for trigonometry problems. So if you have some triangles, this one here has to do with radians and spheres and triangles and stuff. You could look on here and see what you're trying to find, and it would, you'd spin around here till you found the right one, and it would give you the trigonomic equation that you need to solve for whatever you wanted to on that one. If you flip it over, and you got a little bit different problem on the back here. Here's another one. This one's just more triangles. in different shapes and configurations. But if you're like me, trigonometry is something that is very useful in the machine shop, and I'm pretty good at math, but I have trouble remembering all these equations, and usually because I just don't use them enough to really remember them all the time. The basic ones I do, but a lot of times I have to go look these equations up. So again, you just got a little cheat sheet here, and here's another one for trigonometry problems. This is just different triangles. So again, real handy to help you. You got a right triangle on one side and just a regular triangle on the other side. So anyway, pretty cool stuff. So this is an armband. You can see it put in there, VVL. I'm not sure what that is. If anybody out there knows what that was for, and I'm sure somebody will, put a comment in there. I'd be interested to know. It's an armband for something, but I don't know what VVL stands for, but I'm sure it's cool. We got a book here for steel data, so you can look up different alloys and different types of steel in this, and got all kinds of information. Again, just a nice little reference book to have laying around in the shop. I've got several of these in different flavors and different companies, but always nice to have. And when you're trying to figure out the right steel to use, even though some of this stuff is old, a lot of this information, there's a lot of alloys that's probably not in here, but a lot of the alloys that we use today I'm sure are. This is an instruction book for a Lucas number 41, 42, 43, and 53 horizontal boring machine. So, you guys know I've got a Lucas, I think mine's a 31, so it's a little bit, it's one generation newer than what's in this book, but this is very, very similar to mine. There's not a whole lot of differences in it. And anyway, this is a nice little reference book to have. And while it is for a slightly newer model, most of what in here applies to my machine. So pretty cool. And we've already got that scanned and uploaded on the Vintage Machinery website too, in case you're interested. And safety handbook here from the Detroit Arsenal. This is probably World War II era, I'm sure. 1947, just after World War II. But all the safety rules for working in the arsenal up there. So anyway, just a really neat collection of tools. So Sasha, thanks for sending those along. Greatly appreciate it. And I love this kind of stuff. These little calculators, I've got a whole bunch of them. I got a drawer full of these things, and I think they're cool. I remember when I was a kid in school, having ones that, you could do your multiplication tables pulled up real quickly and stuff like that. Back before everybody just had a calculator in their pocket, so they're really neat. And I have fond memories of these as a kid growing up, and I still use it. My little feed and speed calculator for my Kerning Trekker horizontal mill, I use it all the time. It's over there by my milling machine. The information hasn't changed. Like I said, it's just in this day and age. We reach for our phone, we go to the internet, we got an app that does everything, but this was the way they did it back old school before we had technology at our fingertips. Pretty cool stuff. Sasha, thanks for sending this stuff along. So up next, I just got it's just an old lantern post tool holder for a lathe. This is what you would have used to hold your high-speed steel back in the day before all the carbide insert stuff came out. This is for a pretty large 5/8 inch tool, and this is a piece of 5/8 inch tool steel that I put in here. Actually, this is a purchase that I made, an eBay purchase, and I was looking for a good tool holder to use in my metal planer on a project I got coming up. And anyway, I went ahead and just bit the bullet and bought one of these. This one is made by Armstrong. Yep, Armstrong, which was a real common maker of these. So they had these. One of them was straight like this. One of them, the tool kind of went to the left and one to the right. So you had kind of three different flavors of them. This is a straight one. But I was looking for this for a specific project I got kind of coming up over on the metal planer. So you guys might see this in action coming up soon. Anyway, I thought I'd share that real quick. It's a new purchase. Last item here, I got a set of tooling that I was able to purchase from a viewer, York Powell from out in Utah, reached out to me, and he had a bunch of these horizontal milling cutters. And you know, guys, I've got a cabinet full of horizontal milling cutters, and I'm to the point where, you know, most stuff I don't need it. But every now and then you come across something that's a little bit unique and something that's a little bit different. And this is some stuff that I didn't have a whole lot of right here, and decided to take advantage of it. So first off, these involute cutters here. Involute cutters are for cutting gears, but these are all specifically for cutting bevel gears. Now, you can use a regular involute gear cutter for cutting bevel gears, but they actually made a set of involute cutters specifically for bevel gears, and doing the math and everything else on a bevel gear is a lot easier if you have the right cutters for it. And I have a few in my collection, but most of these I did not have in these sizes, so yeah, I just ended up buying the whole collection from him. Some of these are some duplicates for me, but most of them are ones that I didn't have. And when I see the involute cutters out there, particularly if it's some stuff that I don't have, I just usually try to go ahead and get them, because it seems like I'm always cutting gears in the shop, and it seems like every time I need an involute cutter, I don't have the one I need. So I'll always, again, pick these things up when I get them. Most of these I'll probably never use, but if I ever need one of them, it's a lot easier to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. So that's kind of my philosophy. So we'll put these over there. Now, these cutters back here, these are quite interesting, and I don't think I have any like this, but these are specifically for cutting the profile on taps and reamers. So if you ever look at this is a reamer, and I don't know if you can see that very well or not, but you see the little profile in there for the teeth. That would have been cut with a cutter kind of like this right here. And it's pretty much the same profile for either a tap or a reamer. And these are for different size tooling or whatever. So if you were making your own tooling, making taps and reamers, you would basically set this up over on the horizontal milling machine. You would cut each one of those flutes out individually. Once your tool was roughed out, you would go do a heat treat on it, harden everything, and then take it to a grinder and actually grind the actual teeth, or the cutting edges after everything was ground or hardened. But I've never really done any tool making, not much. I have done a little bit, but nothing quite like this before. But if I ever needed to make my own reamer or tap, having something like this right here in your collection would be a nice asset to have. Again, I don't know that I'll ever need them or ever use them, but York had these, and he gave me a good deal on them, so I just went ahead and bought the whole set from him. And we'll put them over there in the cabinet, and we'll have them if we need them. If you had to go buy something like this, I'm not even sure. I'm sure somebody makes this tooling somewhere out there. Almost all of these cutters are made by Brown and Sharp. There's a few other makers in here, but most of these are Brown and Sharp cutters, and that's good stuff. And it's hard to find good quality tooling like this being made at a reasonable price anymore. So anyway, York, thanks for reaching out to me on that. I thought that was a nice score for the shop, and we'll definitely, hopefully, have a use for these one of these days, and can shoot some videos of doing some gear cutting, and who knows, maybe even some tool making at some point in time. Well, there we go. Just a quick video to give you guys an update on stuff that's coming in the shop and so forth like that. My plan was I was going to come out here today and actually do a job over on the lathe, but after shooting this little video with this Vertigo stuff going on, yeah, my head is swimming. In fact, I'm almost nauseous right now from just even shooting this little short segment that we just did, and I'm ready to go to the house and hang it up for the day. This stuff sucks. I really hope that I can get over this Vertigo pretty quickly, because I got stuff to do, and I can't do it. I don't even feel comfortable driving right now. My wife's been having to drive me around, so hopefully we'll get this stuff cleared up. They've given me some medicine that hopefully will help get this, whatever it is on my ears, back in balance, and hopefully life will get back to normal for me pretty quickly. But yeah, this has not been fun. Guys, with that, that's going to be a wrap. As always, thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thumbs up and comments are appreciated. Hit the bell icon to get notifications. Comments are always appreciated. And with that, we'll catch you on the next video. Again, thanks for watching.